Okay, this is Rafa again with the original scriptures, Word of Yah. And today we're talking for you all who need some money. A very pragmatic thing. Yah's got a way to make money, a lot of money. And I've done this now for about 37 years, and it works. This is my fourth time that I've given it all away, my fifth time of actually making it back again. But this time, I'm doing it different than I've ever done before. This time, I'm working everything I'm doing the same stuff, but I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for Yasserel. If you're a Yachty, if you're a barbarian, I'm working for you because I'm a Luya, and Luyas are supposed to be servants. Now, all right, we're on the fourth Adamic principle. You remember the first three? Again, let's go over them. Put Yah first, His covenant, His laws, His word. Know them. Second of all, take care of your body. Realize you got to live in this body. So eat right, sleep right, exercise, take care of it. Along with that, your physical house is land, and build your house. Get you some place you can call home. Doesn't have to be very big. In fact, make sure that you can afford to just build it and own it. You can change it later on. As you grow, as you get financially better, you can move up. But it's important not to borrow against your home. Let your home be your home. Nobody will ever shove you out of your home, because there's even a security basis when you have your home where nobody can take it from you. Third one is dance and romance. Learn how to win the heart of a woman. The fourth one is about how to be financially independent. Most people spend 40, 45, 50 years of their life, and they're still never financially independent. We've already talked about number one is work hard. Number two, work wise. Number three is work in your passions. Those three are biggies. Now, you have your house. Doesn't have to be big. It's paid off. You're not making payments. Now, here's an important principle. Live off of half of what you make. Half. Now, for me, I do tithing first. So you're free to interpret it like you want to, because I want to put Yah first in everything. And so first thing I do is tithe. Then they gave me 90% of my income remaining. And then I went and I split it in half. And so I live off 45%. 45% then was free to invest. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You can do it 10%, 20%, 30%. It all depends on how much time you want to have living free. I wanted to have as much as I could. I wanted to get financially free as fast as possible, so I went to the maximum, which is half. That is, you take and split your income in half, and you live off of the second half. The first half of it, you use to invest. That's what's going to give you financial freedom. If you don't cut down on your expenses, you know what? You're going to die the same way you're living right now, just barely making it month after month. You don't want to do that. That's a lousy way to live. Just barely making your bills. No. Do it Yah's way. Okay? Cut your expenses down. You say, well, I can't afford to. Yeah, you can. You may have to get out of an expensive house. Quit buying those new cars that you're buying, making those big payments on it. Go back to doing things Yah's way. If you do it Yah's way, you're going to be blessed, and I guarantee you're going to have financial freedom. Okay, you got it? All right, now let's start out and say you've done that. And I know that's not easy. That's a big if, because most of you are probably not going to do that. But you're also going to have financial problems all your life. I just tell you, this is what Yah's word says. I've tried it. I've done it 4 times. It's worked every time. I'm in the 5th time of that, and every time it gets easier. And you can also get bigger and bigger. This time I'm doing it with about 420,000 people. A lot more fun. Okay, here's what it says. Now, Homestead, buy, improve, rent, and sell land for profit. Use the art's resources. Now that's Yahuwah's earth. Build and secure many properties for profit. Now, each property, the whole thing is land-based. All wealth is land-based. So start that way. Even these big companies that, either IT companies, look, their main enduring wealth comes in the land that they buy, the office buildings that they buy, and the increase in value of that. Okay. It says, when you begin a venture, be very bold for a Sabbath of years. Live on half of your money or less and invest the rest in land and resources. That's what I did. Now, I didn't have the word of Yah when I did that. First time I did it, I just did it because it made sense. I mean, I was just a guy that had 4 kids, was broke, living in a tent, and all I had was the King James Bible back then, and I read in there where it said, be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion over the earth, on the earth. That's all I had. And the rest of it, the Spirit of Yahuwah just kind of led me to. But within 3 years, I was worth $3.5 million. And you can do the same thing. Now, I was just Spirit-led then. Now we've got the Word of Yah that'll teach us you step by step how to do it. Okay, first of all is cut your outgo in half. If you really want the maximum blessing, I'd say put tithing first. If you want to split it and then tithe out of the part that you have, that's fine too. Whichever you want, the whole blessing or you want half the blessing. No, you make your own decision on that. Okay. Either way, you're going to end up, if you just tithe off of what comes to you, it's going to be a tithe. So I'm just radical. I like it the fast track. All right. Now, what do you do with the half now of the money that you have? Borrow money against land. No other financial, all the Christians are saying, get out of debt, get out of debt, get out of debt. No. Get out of debt on your house, pay your house off, so that you always have a place to sleep, a place for your kids. You don't want to gamble with that. Everything else, we're made to gamble. We're made to be bold. That's what it says right here. Be bold. You're not going to get financial independence being a security nut. The people who do that end up just making a living all their life, barely making a living, and then they eke out the last 10 years of their life on Social Security. No. That's not the way we were made. We're made to be bold. That's what's fun, is to be bold. Every single month in the East, we're gambling probably $500 million, something like that now. We started out making averaging 25 cents a day. And it wasn't that long ago. That was just about 20 years ago. Now, we gamble quite a bit, but we do it intelligently because we know what we're doing. And we also cover ourselves by our way of kind of a self-insurance thing. Every company that we have is owned 50% by all the other companies. So if it goes belly up, then we decide, well, do we cut our losses and just let it go, which we've had to do on 2 properties, 2 businesses. We just said no. We found out some things that we didn't know about. In both cases, they were government. The company, the business was fine, but we had government problems that came in, and they wanted a much bigger cut of the pie than what we were willing to pay. So in both cases of our failure, it really wasn't our problem, and it wasn't the word of Yah. It was the problem that we were operating in a wordless and lawless government. All right. Here's what it says then. Build, buy, rent, sell, and lend with interest to pagans, but by the 3rd Sabaoth year, that is the 21st year. See, everything's broken down in years of 7. You're to make a 7-year plan 14-year plan, a 21-year plan, and a 28-year plan. Now, by the time that you reach your 14th, into your 14th year, you should be financially free. The rest of the time is you're just continuing to make money because you know how to do it, and frankly, it's kind of fun, and you can always use the money for good purposes. And you are to leave your children some kind of inheritance. The best inheritance to leave them is the Word of Yah. But you know, by you getting wealthy is also a good witness to them that this is not pie in the sky by and by. This is earthy, it's real, it turns into real money. All right. Build, buy, rent, sell, and lend with interest. Pretty simple formula, isn't it? Well, it's easier to say it than to do it. But it's basically, it really is almost rational. It is very rational. Learn how to buy land. Doesn't tell you exactly how. It just says learn how to buy land. And then it tells us use 1/4 of your resources in safe growth. Be wisely bold with 1/4 that you might double every year. Double means 100% return. So 1/4 were to be safe growth, still growth, but safe growth. Second one is that you're supposed to double your money. That is in 100% return. Wow. And if you stumble, rejoice to learn how to start anew. Help one another and prosper together. Make a Saba oath, that is a 7-year plan. Follow your plan and improve it. Be patient. Do this over and over, bringing profit from every property. Do not normally borrow more than 4 or 5 parts, that's 80%, to buy new properties until you Saba oath your assets. Then borrow not, but lend to nations, but only honestly. Okay, here's what it says now. And this is a huge key. When you buy new property, it recommends that you don't borrow more than 80%. That's because we don't want the banks to ever repossess our property. If they repossess it, they're taking your money. Look, they're not. No bank is going to make a loan unless they're covering themselves. And the way they cover themselves is that they're going to undervalue your property. And if you default on the payment, believe me, they're going to make money. They're going to take everything you've earned, plus your down payment, plus the sweat equity you've put in your property, and they're going to make money. I mean, a decent banker almost always makes money. So you don't want them to repossess it. Now, understand the big picture. Right now, until Yasserel gets to be a world powerhouse, and we'll have real money. But meantime, all we've got to work with is this fiat money. That's dangerous money. You got to understand how governments work and how money works to be able to understand how to get the kind of returns that we're talking about, where you at least get 50 to 100, even 200% a year off of your money, off your investment money, which is what you're going to need to get. First of all, understand the reason that governments go to fiat money is so they can manipulate the currency, so that they can print more money than what in the old days, what gold they had in the bank. See, in the old days, for instance, when America established the dollar as a worldwide currency, $35 would buy you an ounce of gold, and 1 ounce of gold buy you $35. And you go to any embassy in the world, and you could exchange gold for dollars or dollars for gold. That's how it got to be a worldwide currency. All right. Then in 1971, under a conservative, that's why it doesn't make any difference whether the conservatives or liberals in. Look, they're all crooks. They're all thieves. They're all slave masters. They just got different names, different titles, different skin color, but they're all thieves. All right. So why do they like fiat currency? Why is there not one politician now griping about what happened in 1971? Here's why. In 1971, you know, when they went off quietly off of any kind of gold standard, even a pretense of a gold standard, then the dollar became fiat. It became free floating. The only thing that gives it value is, frankly, the faith that people have that it's worth something. So it's all about up here, mental recognition. So what it means is that the governments can print money. If they need money, they just print more. But you see, it's kind of like what gives, let's just say, what gives your car value? If there were 100 cars like that in everybody's yard, it would be just like rock. It would be like trees, maybe, or little bitty bushes that essentially have no value at all. In fact, people would be wanting to haul them off so they could plant a garden. What gives it value is that it's capable of doing something, and it's valuable to other people because there's not that many of them. Look, if gold was covered the face of the earth, you know what would be really valuable? Dirt. You know, something to grow something in. And people would hate gold because you can't grow anything on it, and you know, it's just old gold out there, same old stuff, boring. So what gives the dollar bill value? The fact that it's a limited supply. So the government wants more money. They want the easy way. They want to print it. And by the way, presently the U.S. government, y'all are old enough to remember when they used to argue, it used to be news about setting the debt ceiling. Remember that? Now nobody even hears about the debt ceiling. You know why? Because Congress passed a law that said whatever law they pass, they just automatically fund it. They raised the debt ceiling. So basically the debt ceiling is meaningless now. They just try to keep it quiet. You know, don't let the American people know how much money we're stealing from them this year. Because every time they print more money, they're taking from every one of us who has dollars. They're stealing from us because they're diluting the value of it. It's called inflation. It's why you used to pay $3,000 for a truck. Now you pay $80,000 for that truck. It's why you used to pay about $6,000 or $7,000 for a nice house, and now you pay $300,000 for a nice house. If you're in California, you pay twice that amount to just get a basic 3-bedroom house. All right. So look, Yahuwah knew this is what's going to happen. This is the nature of man during the time of the pagans, because they don't care about you. All they care about is their pocket. Yahuwah knew that, so he's given us words of how to work in that situation. Borrow money against land. Not against your credit card. Not for your personal living. No. Not for televisions, radios, play games, all this kind of stuff. No. Automobiles, no. Be efficient. Automobile you need for transportation or for carrying things like with a truck. Get the basic, cheapest thing you can get that will do the job. Let other people pay the big high price tags. I usually buy automobiles. I don't buy one even though I could buy anything I want to. But I want to be efficient for the kingdom, so the cars I buy, the trucks I buy are going to be all at least about 6-7 years old, because you still got a lot of value at vehicles that old. All right, let me explain to you how this works. Say you go and you're looking for housing, and say you've got, let's just say you've got $5,000 that you saved up. Okay, now, first of all, it depends on your credit rating. You need a good credit. If you don't have a good credit, you ought to get some kind of job. Open your bank account. In fact, I'll share you this little secret. You can open a bank account in 2 banks, and then about every 2 days, just move your money back and forth. You can use the same $1,000. Now, you think that there's smart people in those banks. No, most of them are just workers. There's really only usually 1 or 2 smart people at the bank. And you'll come in there after about 3 or 4 months and have your account there, and they don't know you have an account at the other bank. All they'll see is all this money being transferred in and out. $1,000, $1,000, $300, there's $500, there's $700, there's $800, da-da-da-da. You make it very much. All they know is that, boy, whatever business you got, you're doing some business. That establishes what's called as credit. Now, it's a game they play, you know, and smart people will figure it out, but there's not enough smart people out there to figure it out yet. So basically, you just want some credit because we're not going to cheat anybody anyway. But a lot of other people will cheat people. And so the banks have got to watch out for that. All right, you go in then after you do that a while, and it does help to have, you might need to get a job with a salary for a little while because banks, for some reason, they like people that have had salaries. It gives them, they think, stability. Really, there isn't a lot of stability in that because you can always get fired or quit a job and you don't have income anyway. But anyway, the banks think so. All right, basically, you just want the credit. You want the ability to borrow about 95% on a house. And you can get 95%. The first mortgage, in fact, if you do what I suggested in earlier videos and you put your house in a nonprofit name, and I'll show you how to do that. If you want to call us, we're not going to put that on the air because we don't want everybody knowing about it. But I'll show you how you can put a nonprofit status and you can still live in it and you can still enjoy it. And you can still use it because you're a kingdom person. You're a minister of the kingdom of Yahuwah. You know, everybody's a minister. Everybody's appointed to be a missionary, a malaka. Well, okay. So, but if you do that, you won't have a house in your name, and therefore you can qualify for a lot of first loan or first house mortgages, and they're cheap. And they're usually 95%. Some of them are even 100%. But anyway, it won't cost you much. Buy a $100,000 house, costs you $5,000. All right, so you bought this house. Some of them actually, they're deals where you can buy houses for really almost nothing down. The problem with that is that you usually finance. You overfinance. You're upside down in what you owe on the house, and therefore you can't make a lot of money out of it. And what we're looking at is making money. This is your investment money. So we want to be able to find and train your eyes to look for a house that's run down, people hadn't taken care of it, that's all the systems are fundamentally right, but it's just the cosmetics of the house. It looks horrible. You know, grass grown up, weeds, no garden, hadn't been painted, gutters hanging down, small stuff like that. But fundamentally inside, it's solid. Paint, it needs paint. Maybe the countertops are messed up, I'll show you how you can do countertops real easy and cheaply and add thousands of dollars value to your house. But the overall picture of this thing is you want to get in a house, you want to buy it. See, in any kind of market, there's going to be about 3 to 5% of the housing that is distressed property. People got to get out of it. They got to have cash. And what you want to do is work yourself to a position where you can pay cash for it and you don't have to have the banks involved at all. Because those banks are going to take a certain amount of commission and they're going to take some of the money that you could have made. But we're starting out right now. All you got is $5,000, so you need the bank. So you go there. They pay $95,000. You pay the $5,000 down, and you got a $95,000 loan. Okay, now what you do? You did your homework though, and that house is really worth about $130,000 or $140,000. You got it at a distressed sale. So you go in there and you learn what you need to do. You fix up the yard. Look, there's no free lunch. You're gonna have to work. You got to get up and go to work. If you got another job, you got to go over there in the evening. You and your wife go over there, but y'all can have fun doing it as long as she understands the goal where you're working. You can endure it and not watch television and stuff and get this job done if she understands that you're in process of being a multimillionaire. You're in process of being financially free. So fix up the outside, do the cosmetics. Now, the two most important parts of fixing up a house are the kitchen and the bathroom, the master bathroom. You know why? Because women buy houses. More properly, mothers buy most houses. For most guys, as long as mama's happy, they're happy. Mama's she's going to look at that kitchen and she's going to look at that master bathroom. So spend time, make them nice. Spend some money on it and fix it up. Now, with countertops, easy way. Go buy some tiles. You can buy it many places. They're cheap. And learn how to lay tile and how to cut tile and make a countertop. It's the cheapest way to do a countertop. And instead of spending $1,000 putting in new countertops, you'll spend 200, 150, maybe 100 in fixing it up. Particularly if you use, I like black color. I like black on things, and I'll rechange a whole kitchen into just simply black and white. Looks classy and amazing. You got to change the faucets out. Get you some nice shiny faucets that look modern, and you can also put you a little divider in the middle, or you can make it. Go get you a piece of slate or a piece of marble. You can pick them up cheap sometime. And what I did was I went and got one that wasn't finished, and it was a $6,000 piece of marble, and I bought it for $300 and picked it up, put it in there myself. Bought some old cabinets. I bought some some old cabinets, fixed them up, painted them, and we put the marble slab on top of it. Man, it's a whole different kitchen. Same thing you can do in the bathrooms. If you get exotic, you can get some cheap marble. Nothing like marble. If you can put it in there, it looks awesome. All right, fix the thing up, put you a modern toilet in, and paint it, and then try to do this. There's two ways to sell them. You really make your money by buying them and by being economical when you're fixing them up. But you got to get your money, and that's selling them. There's two ways to sell them. One is with realtors, and I love realtors. A good realtor is worth their money. In fact, I pay them 8%. If I use a realtor, I don't pay them the normal 6 or 7%. I pay them 8%. But I'm also going to include the price of that realtor in the price of the house. So I'm going to raise the price of the house, and the realtor's got to go out there and they got to work, and they're worth their money. And if they sell the house, wonderful. Everybody's happy. And you pay that realtor well for their work. And especially if you can find a good one, then keep them with you. The other way to do it is to do it by owner. And, there are more and more of these companies out that actually will let you multi-market list it. And you can even list it, sell by owner. But you only have to pay them like 1-2%. Not like I say, 8% that I'm paying. And there's another way I've done also that this may help some of you, and that is that you get you a family that is nice and clean, that doesn't have a house, and you swap them rent. You swap them their rent. They can live in the house as long as they keep it nice. It's got to be nice. If they're cluttered and aren't keeping things nice, you don't want them. They have to keep things nice. And basically, you make them your realtor. I've had a couple that sold probably 30 houses for me, and I just kept them from one to another to another. They didn't have to work anywhere else. They made plenty of money. They made $200,000 a year just selling houses for me. And we had them priced right, and people would come, and they were essentially my realtors. And I paid them well. I paid them a good percentage of the price. And so they showed the houses, and all I did was just take the calls and say, hey, I knew they could always. That's their job to show the house. And it worked quite well. Another way that I actually sold over 100 houses one time. And I'll tell you, I'll give you this idea for free. But some of you could be a billionaire off this idea. Sell houses with a guarantee. Nobody does it. To this day, I've looked. I can't find anybody that sells a house with a guarantee. You go down to a lot of stores and you buy something cheap for $5, they'll guarantee it. You buy a $500,000 house and nobody guarantees it. Well, actually, we're going to do this with Yasserel Company. So I hope some of you all do it. It's a great idea, I'm telling you. Early bird gets a worm. If you can get in there first, good. I'll be happy for you, but we're going to do it anyway. And we're going to guarantee your house for, say, like 60 days, and then as we grow, we're going to get it up to 90 days. We're going to give them 2 guarantees. It sounds like crazy. I know it. I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to do what nobody else is going to do. I'm going to explain to you how it works. All right. We're going to guarantee that your money back in 60 days if you don't like the house. So the guy says, what's the downside of that? You mean we can move in the house? You give us all your money back within 60 days if we don't like it. It means we get 2 months rent free. That's what he's going to think. Well, yeah, that's right. But here's what he doesn't know, is we know how mothers are. A mother gets into that house, and she's going to start nesting. In fact, I always tell them, look, honey, I will put up curtains for you. You go pick out the curtains. I'll pay you for it. Put them up in the living room. Put them up in your kitchen, and put them up in your bathroom. Because I want you, while you're here, I want you happy, you know. And so she goes and does that. Once she does that, I have never had a house returned. In fact, of those 100 houses we sold, do you know I didn't even show one of them? I sold over 100 houses on the telephone. Because people said, where's the downside here? I said, there's no risk for you. Absolutely none. All the risk is mine. But I only had 2 of those houses that they came back and said, well, we've changed our mind. We don't want this house. And I said, fine, we'll give you money back. They said, you will? Yeah. Well, we didn't think you would. Well, no, we do what we say. I'm barbarian. I'm a yachty. Do what I say. So I gave them their money back. Now, it cost me. Did it? Yes, it did cost me to do that. But here's what happened. See, I had a waiting list of over 20 people who wanted houses from me because they were a good deal. And with that kind of guarantee, who wouldn't like it? So I sold it within about 30 minutes, both of them. Well, then one of them came back next day and he says, you know, we've been thinking about it. We really don't want to sell that house. We want our house back. Sorry, it's gone. What? You sold our house? Yeah, you want your money back. So we sold it. Now, essentially, I lost 2 months worth of interest on the money on that house. But you know the reputation that they gave me? In fact, both of them came back and bought houses again from me. But man, I mean, they must have told 1,000 people. There's this one guy that sells houses on a guarantee. You need to buy one from him because he does what he says. He'll give you his money back. Nobody buys and sells houses like that. I finally quit because I just wanted to go search for the original scriptures because I was making so much money. Well, I'll tell you this, though. Next time we do it, we're not going to do it for 60 days. We're going to do it for 6 years. 6 years. Give you money back. Say, wait a minute. How can you do that? Well, 2 things. One is we don't believe there's going to be a recession for the next 6 years because they've already squeezed the money supply, and they're always artificial. You see, there are natural recessions, but the engineered ones are so much more prevalent that you'd have to be somebody starting a major war or something. And even in a major war, housing still is valuable. People got to live there. So about the only thing that destroys housing is some kind of forest fire that burns them down and you don't have any insurance that covers them. By the way, I suggest you have insurance on your house, at least major loss insurance. Until you get up where you got enough money where you can afford a $500,000 loss and it won't cost you that much. Well, this is a great idea for some of you who wants to go make money. Guarantee them their money back in 6 years. You will sell houses off the telephone right, left, all day long because nobody does that. Now, if we have a major recession and you have everybody say, hey, here's my house back, I want my money back, and you know what, you're going belly up. So that's why I said make sure your house is paid for. But be bold. That's what it says. Be bold in it. You'll enjoy it. And you've got about a 93% chance that there will not be a recession in the next 6 years. So you've got a 93% chance that in 6 to 7 years of being a billionaire, not millionaire, billion, and do it nationwide. Nationwide. I mean, if it's good in one place, it's good in every place in America. Well, there you go. Anybody bold out there? Anybody want to live life to the fullest? You want to take your money? See what you can do? By the way, I would suggest you start tithing before you do that because you want the blessing of Yahuwah with you when you do it. There's lots of other ways that you can multiply. It's the same principle. You know, don't have unhappy clients. Bless your clients. You know, rejoice. Make them your friends. Tell them and really mean it. You want them to prosper like you prosper. And in fact, when Yasserel does that company, we're going to make a stock company, and half the stock's going to go to the American people because we want to bless them. We want them to see how it works. And when they start seeing how it works, they're going to say, who are y'all now? What's that strange name? Barbarians? Oh, y'all from that, what is it? Oh, yeah, we're Yachty. Yeah, Yachty. Well, you know what? I just want to thank y'all. Made me and my wife multimillionaires. And showed us how to enjoy life, how to love each other. We got rid of our marriage, and we just go at 7 days at a time. Love pledge y'all talk about, and man, you know, we still have a little scrap every now and then, a little disagreement, but we just love each other, and we have fun. In fact, we want to just be a part of y'all. That's the goal. That's the goal. Make our enemies into acquaintances, and then make our acquaintances into friends, and make our friends into brothers and sisters. Hope you've enjoyed this today. It's a way to multiply your money hundreds of fold. This is Rafa. Be blessed.